Almost 250 years ago, the desire of Christians here in Clapham to see every life bearing fruit for Jesus meant that they built Holy Trinity Clapham on the prime site of the Common. The old parish church in Clapham had got too small, and so they built Holy Trinity Clapham with an entrepreneurial and visionary spirit. And ever since, from the time of William Wilberforce and the Clapham sect onwards, the building has existed to support that vision of seeing people, more people, coming to have a real faith in Jesus, one that makes a difference in all of life. And that vision, it has rightly meant making changes to the building in the past to meet the needs of that time. And that same vision means that today we recognise the need to make changes to the building right now. Holy Trinity Clapham, it has been designated as the first resourcing church in Southwark Diocese. Southwark Diocese is everything in London south of the river. And being a resourcing church means we have a remit to be a blessing to other churches across South London, outside of our parish, through planting churches and through sending smaller renewal teams to those churches. And in the last couple of years, that has led to the growth of two smaller churches, one down in Brixton and one up in Vauxhall. But for us to be able to do this in a sustainable fashion, we also need to resource not just other churches, but also resource our own church. And we are so thankful that Holy Trinity Clapham has been growing over the last few years, significantly so, and fairly constantly, from around 150 adults in 2012 to around 550 adults now, and probably 100 or so children on top of that. By God's grace, we need to keep growing as a church, and that means that the church building needs to be able to support that vision, and currently it can't. The building, it is a barrier to our current ministry that takes place right now, and it is certainly a barrier to any future growth. That there are many more than this, but here are the top 6 biggest current needs that we have for the building. First, a better welcoming entry. Currently, there is a massive bottleneck on Sundays and with big events at the main entrance to the church. And more than that, we long that the main entrance is a space that is welcoming for all our visitors and our users from across the local community throughout the week, one that is safe and thriving. And that is regularly not possible with the current setup. We need to make improvements to the main entrance and to the entrance to the church on the south side facing the Common so that people can, as it were, feel doubly welcome to the church. Our second need is a flexible worship area. The original pews in the galleries, they are wonderful. We would love them to be kept. They are the originals. But there is a desperate need for a large flexible space in the main body of the church on the ground floor for our courses midweek and for providing more flexibility for our Sunday services. For example, the last 3 marriage preparation courses that we've run, we've had to turn people away, engaged couples, we've had to turn them away from the course because we haven't had room for them with the current layout on our ground floor. In essence, the fact that there is no decent flexible size space in the church building means it can be only used minimally during the week. Almost all our midweek activity as a church happens over at Trinity House, the equivalent of our church hall on Bromwell's Road. It has a much bigger flexible space. So as it is, the church building, it is chaotic on a Sunday with our services, so many people there, but it is practically dead during the rest of the week. And we long that the church building, it is alive, it is vibrant, it's reaching out to the community and beyond throughout the week and able to hold a growing congregation effectively in their worship on a Sunday. And once the reordering's done, we'll be able to move so much that is currently happening over at Trinity House, our church hall, into the church. And the church can then become a buzzing beacon throughout the week. And we will be able to do so much more outreach into the community to those most in need through our ministry over at Trinity House. We already do lots where we're reaching out to families in need, to the homeless, to Alcoholics Anonymous groups, with counselling, after school clubs, youth clubs, but we would love to be able to do even more. The third need is increased space. And this is particularly for children's groups on a Sunday. We need the space on site in the church building because so many of our children that come to the church on a Sunday, they're young. They're under the age of 7. So we need bigger rooms and more rooms on site to accommodate all our children. Currently, there is not enough room. Our fourth need is improved facilities. Quite simply, our kitchen and our toilet facilities, they are woeful. They're not good enough for a church of 200, let alone a church of 600, and in the future, we pray 1,000. Our fifth need is enhanced experience. When you sit in the balcony of the church, you cannot see anything that is going on, neither can you hear anything either, so you might as well not really be there. We need new audio and visual provision. And then the final area of need that we have is to better communicate our story. Holy Trinity Clapham has an inspiring past, and we believe an exciting present and future too. And we need to communicate this story both through appropriate conservation repairs and through telling the past story in an engaging way, such as having a Wilberforce garden within the church grounds. And this story, it needs to link the church and the Clapham community. And currently, rather ironically, the main path from the tube station across the common to the church, it has a big tree stuck in the way. And so we long for a clear entrance into the church grounds, symbolic of even better communication between church and community of which you are a part. The church building of Holy Trinity Clapham has undergone several changes over the last 240 years. But all with the aim of fulfilling the church's vision to its full potential. And this proposed reordering, it is a natural progression of this desire to achieve the vision of Holy Trinity Clapham being a resourcing church in the diocese, and being a blessing to our growing congregation, and being a blessing to the surrounding community in Clapham and throughout South London. Now, I'm so excited by these plans. They innovatively and creatively solve all our building needs, and it has been wonderful to see total unity amongst our church council over this as the right way forwards. So please, would you take a look at the plans for yourself on this webpage, and then do get in touch with us with any comments that you might have, positive or negative, via the comments box. Many thanks.